Welcome to Pale Blue Pod, the astronomy podcast for people who are overwhelmed by the universe but want to be its friend.
Yes, it's me, Corinne Caputo. I'm a writer and a friend to the universe. We just went on a little weekend retreat.
Oh, a weekend retreat is a high level of friendship. Good for you.
Yeah, it was a big group of people, so you really never know how close you are. But hopefully we all emerged a little bit tighter.
Good. I love that you and the universe have your own friendships separate from the two of us.
Yeah, I think that's important to share friends like that.
Hi, everyone. I am another friend to the universe, separate from Corinne. I'm Dr. Moiya McTier. I'm an astrophysicist and a folklorist, and I'm going to ask the universe to go on a little trip with me, because I hate solo traveling.
It's so much more fun when you're with somebody.
You're so right. You're so right. We're traveling a little bit right now. We are in transit as we speak. Corinne, have you ever been in a hot air balloon before?
For some reason, I just had the instinct to say yes, but I don't think that's true at all. I went to a hot air balloon festival where we watched a ton of them launch at the same time, which was very cool.
Was it in New Mexico?
No, it was in New Jersey.
Oh.
Yeah, it's probably happening again this year. It usually happens at the end of July. Wait, is it happening right now? At least the time I went, it was my birthday.
Fun.
So that's how I knew. But it was really fun.
It's your birthday! Happy birthday!
Yay! Happy birthday to me.
I totally knew that ahead of time. That's why I organized this very fun hot air balloon ride.
We did this on purpose.
Well, happy birthday, Corinne.
Thank you.
From the hot air balloon.
That's very sweet. I'm glad to be here.
This is my first time in a hot air balloon. We are flying through the clouds, which I thought would be
magical.
Appropriate. Beautiful. It is a little chilly, but there's that big fire right above us. So it's actually keeping us pretty warm.
We could have done s'mores.
Ooh. I wonder if there'd be any, gas pollution or something.
Yeah, you don't want to eat it.
Don't want it. But we're here. We're in our basket. We are recording. The hot air balloon driver is a little perplexed that this is how we decided to spend our time. But it's fine, because today we're going to be talking about what I hope becomes the internet's favorite episode of Pale Blue Pod.
There's no doubt about it.
I think it has a good chance, because today, everyone, we're going to be talking about, and this is how I say it, Uranus.
Uranus.
How do you say it, Corinne?
Obviously I say Uranus, but that's in my head.
So you just say it, and then you translate it when you say it out loud?
I will change it as it comes out of my mouth to be Uranus. But the thing is, I avoid saying it at all costs.
Okay. I unfortunately cannot.
I was going to say, I don't think you can, but it never really comes up in my life. So I'm in a lucky spot where I don't have to say it often.
Good.
But I do try to say it in a way that's innocuous, but I feel like I draw more attention to it when I say it like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. People are going to pay attention to you no matter how you say it. I end up saying it a lot, not just because I'm a professional space person, but also because this is my favorite planet in the solar system. So anytime someone asks me, hey, Moiya, what's your favorite planet? I have to say Uranus.
Yeah, you got to be honest.
Every single time. And we're going to get into the history and the discovery and the naming of this planet, but there is a reason I say it Uranus.
Good.
And it's not just because I want to avoid embarrassment. Corinne, where does this rank? I said it's my favorite. Where does this rank for you?
Probably right in the middle, but I don't know much about it, so this could change by the end.
Okay. What would you like to know by the end of this episode?
I literally know nothing about this planet. I know where it falls in the line of planets, and very nearly nothing else.
Amazing. Well, then let's learn some stuff, starting with the history and its discovery, right?
Yes.
Uranus is one of the planets that you can technically see with your unaided eye, especially if you have pretty good eyesight. But in the past, it was mistaken for a star by everyone who saw it because it moves so slowly. It is one of the outer planets in the solar system. And so, if it takes Saturn 29 years to orbit, this one takes even longer. So it moves very slowly, and people thought it was just a star. Even the astronomer royal, John Flamsteed, in 1690, he was like the English king's personal astronomer. He saw it and he was like, that's just a star. I'm making a list of all the stars and their positions, and that's just another star, and I'm going to call it 34 Tauri. That's what he did. And then other people did the same thing, but they named it something else because every person who saw it thought they were looking at a different star.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, because they're like, the fixed stars are fixed in place. This thing, it's slow, so it must be fixed. But it's in a different place than other people have said there is a star. So, I just found a new star. And that happened for hundreds of years, pretty much.
That's so funny.
I know.
The joy of thinking you found a new star only to learn we've all found this. It's like that book, that pumpkin book about the mice, and they all ended up watering the same pumpkin, and it grows to be so big because no one knew the other people were watering it.
That sounds like a great lesson, but I've never heard of
really
this.
Cute.
This isn't like the mice of Nim or something?
Oh, no. I love that book, but that's not this. This is, the biggest pumpkin ever.
Great.
Simple name. This is just like that.
It is just like that. So for hundreds of years, people were seeing Uranus, but identifying it as different fixed stars. And it wasn't officially discovered as a planet until March 13th, 1781. March 13th is my mom's birthday, so I should tell her. In 1781.
This is a huge day. Yep. Mm-hmm.
My mother is hundreds of years old. It was discovered on my mom's birthday in 1781 by William Herschel in Bath, England. But he thought it was a comet. So all these people are seeing Uranus and completely misidentifying it.
Nobody's getting it. Nobody's seeing it for what it is.
Not a one. William Herschel, we have talked about him before because his sister, Caroline Herschel, is, in my opinion, a much more interesting person, and we did a whole episode about her. Herschel discovered Uranus using what at the time was a state-of-the-art telescope. It was 6.2 inches in diameter, better than anything anyone else had. And so he could see Uranus better than anyone else, and on closer examination, he realized that the object was kind of a disky shape instead of a small point. So he was like, oh, it's not a star. He thought it was a comet. But then people looked more and they're like, it doesn't have the tail of gas and stuff flowing off of a comet as it moves. So it must be something different. And then as people started studying its orbit, like going back, looking at John Flamsteed's notes and saying 34 Tauri, oh, that's the same thing, and using all of those other star positions to trace its orbit, they saw that it has more of a round orbit than a very eccentric one, like a comet typically has. So all of those pieces of information together led them to realize that this was a planet past Saturn, the first planet ever discovered using a telescope.
Whoa.
At the time, the planets had their naming conventions. So we had Jupiter and Saturn, and we had this mythological theme going on. And Herschel wanted to completely break with it. He wanted to call it Georgium Sidus. Which meant the Georgian planet after King George III, which is the same George who was in Hamilton and Bridgerton.
You should never name something after your boss.
Exactly. Especially not if you are German and your boss is the English king.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So the international community, understandably, wasn't a big fan of that name. And other people suggested a lot of other stuff, like Hypercronius, which meant above Saturn, except Cronius is using the Greek name for Saturn, Kronos. So
so it wouldn't. Yeah.
So it should have been Hyper Saturnia or something, but that name didn't get picked anyway. Other people suggested maybe naming it Minerva for the Roman goddess of wisdom, which would have been nice. I would love to have another planet named after a goddess, like a lady figure. People probably didn't like it for that reason, if I'm being honest. And some people said, hey, let's name it after the person who found it. Let's name it Herschel. But that also didn't go over well.
Yeah.
Sometime, like in the few years after it was discovered, so still in the 1780s, a scientist named Johann Bode, a German scientist named Johann Bode, suggested calling it Uranus after Uranus, who is the Greek primordial deity of the sky. He is the personification of the sky. And his reasoning for that was that we named the planet Saturn because it's Jupiter's father in Roman mythology. So what if we just carry that on and name the next planet after Jupiter's grandfather?
Yeah, it's a family tree.
It's a family tree, which is great. But then they used the Greek name instead of the Roman name. So Uranus is the only planet named after a Greek figure. Everyone else is named after Roman, and then there's Earth. But so Uranus is the Greek personification of the sky, which is why I say Uranus.
Okay, now I get it, because it's like the original.
It's like the original, yeah. Except we should all be calling it Caelus, because that is the Roman personification of the sky, like the Roman equivalent
and
of
to keep it
Uranus.
Sure, we don't want to break the pattern.
We don't want to, but apparently in the 1780s, they didn't give a shit.
They didn't care.
They
didn't understand branding yet.
You're so right.
Branding didn't come until 2010.
They didn't understand branding, and they didn't understand what it would do to people's autistic brains to have this clearly defined pattern just be completely broken.
The irritation. I get it.
So they could have kept it consistent and called it Caelus, but they didn't. So we owe the name Uranus to Johann Bode, but it wasn't commonly used until almost 60, 70 years later. It wasn't commonly used until 1850. But it did inspire the name of the chemical element uranium, which was discovered in 1789. So even before we were calling the planet Uranus, we named a chemical element after it.
That's fun.
It's so fun. I love how scientists do things.
Yeah, we're just doing it,
Just doing it. And now we've known about Uranus for 150 years or so, and we've learned a lot about it. We have a pretty good understanding of its characteristics, especially compared to Earth. It is one of the two ice giants in our solar system, the other ice giant being Neptune.
That sounds good.
It sounds good that it's an ice giant?
Sounds good to be an ice giant right now.
Oh, yeah.
Dog days of summer. I'm ready for an ice.
You're so right. And the ice giants are distinct from the gas giants in the solar system, which would be Jupiter and Saturn. Mm-hmm. Uranus is about 14 and a half times more massive than the Earth, but only about 4 times bigger in radius. Its diameter is about 32,000 miles across, so 4 times wider than the Earth. But when you do out the math, the combination of its mass difference and its volume difference, the gravity is pretty similar. It's about 90% of Earth's gravity. So you would weigh almost the same, but a little bit less on Uranus. Not that you could actually stand on it, because it doesn't have a surface anyway.
Yeah.
So you would have to be weighing yourself using one of those, travel scales that you use to weigh your suitcase, from above.
Sure. Mm-hmm, from above.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can't stand on it, but you can be suspended from the scale.
Yep. You can dangle.
You can dangle. But again, what is that scale dangling from? Who knows?
Yeah.
There's no point of reference on this planet. But that's okay, because it's really far away, and we don't need a point of reference on Uranus right now. It orbits about 1.8 billion miles from the sun. That is 19 astronomical units, so Uranus is about 19 times further from the sun than Earth is. And would you like to guess how long it takes to go around?
2 Earth years.
2 Earth years? Corinne, Mars takes longer than that. Well, Mars takes a year and a half. 84.
Oh my God. Old.
Mm-hmm. Old. Older than Biden.
Older than Biden. It's going to run.
I would vote for Uranus first. Please, give me a non-sentient planet.
This is actually the campaign announcement for Uranus.
Yeah. Oh, no. It orbits the sun every 84 years, but its rotation period, the speed at which it rotates about its axis, is much shorter. Would you say a day on Uranus is longer or shorter than a day here on Earth?
I'm going to guess shorter. I feel like it's spinning really quickly, but it's got a long way to go.
Yeah. Yep. It is indeed shorter. A Uranusian day is 17 hours.
Okay. Not
So it's
that much different, but different.
It's pretty it's 7 hours. It's a 7-hour difference for a planet that's 4 times as big. So it's rotating much more quickly than the Earth is. And this is why it's my favorite planet. Its tilt is so extreme. It has the most extreme tilt in the solar system of about 98 degrees.
Wow.
So Uranus is laying down. It's spinning on its side. With its poles pointed at the sun. And I just relate so hard to that. If I could do all of my work laying down, I would.
Just a sleepy girl.
She's a sleepy girl. So relatable.
Yeah. Love it. So am I.
We're all Uranus.
Yes, exactly.
And they think that it's on its side potentially because of a collision with an Earth-sized object in the past when Uranus was like closer to its formation date. And another interesting thing about its rotation is that it's opposite the Earth's and most of the other planets in the solar system. So if you're standing above the solar system, looking down at all the planets, and you're looking at Earth, it looks like Earth is spinning counterclockwise. And most of the planets are also spinning counterclockwise from that perspective. But Uranus and Venus are the only two that are spinning in the other direction.
Ooh, okay.
Again, probably because of some collision that just like knocked it on its side or something.
The drama.
The drama, right? So Uranus, very special. Although its eccentricity is pretty average. It's kind of in the middle of all the planets in the solar system. Its eccentricity is 0.047, so basically a circular orbit. Like I said before, it's one of only 2 ice giants in the solar system, and like the other ice giant Neptune, most of its mass is composed of icy materials. So for Uranus, about 80% of its mass is icy water, methane, and ammonia. A lot of it is water. There's a lot of water ice there. But there's also what we think to be a small, solid, rocky core in the middle of the planet with temperatures that reach about 9,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which does sound like a large number, but is really cold compared to other planets' cores.
Yeah, all right.
Maybe I'll look up the Earth core temperature. About 11,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
Hot.
Yeah. So Uranus is 2,000 degrees cooler.
Yeah.
And that's because it's an ice planet, but it's also because it's not a very dense planet. It's actually the second least dense planet in our solar system after Saturn. Saturn being so sparse, which is the opposite of dense, so diffuse that it could float on a large enough pool of water. It is less dense than water. Uranus, I don't think would float, but it's not dense at all. And with not a lot of density, you don't get as much like pressure pushing down on the core to increase its temperature. Uranus, when you look at the pictures, it's this really pretty serene blue-green color. And that most of that is from methane gas in the atmosphere, which absorbs red light from the sun and then lets all the blue-green light pass through. So that's why
it really
it looks like that.
The prettiest color.
Yeah. So calming when you look at it.
Really serene. And I think because it's depicted, like a lot of the pictures, or at least on the first page of Google results, are like so smooth. Like there's something so satisfying about like there's no texture, there's no like gradient. It's just this perfect blue ball that only can exist in like the vacuum of space.
Yes, exactly. We've taken only a few pictures that show some clouds, but you're right. It really does look like a smooth surface, even though there is stuff going on, like in the atmosphere of the planet. It has really extreme seasons, in part because of its really extreme tilt. So the poles, each of the poles will experience 21 years straight of total darkness or total light at a time. So the temperature swings are quite extreme.
That's depressing me.
I know. Seasonal affective disorder on steroids
to the max.
Here.
My God.
On level 11, the average temperature for Uranus is minus 320 degrees Fahrenheit. But because of these extreme seasons, it has a huge temperature swing, which actually puts the lowest measured temperature in the solar system on Uranus. Colder than Neptune. Colder than some temperatures that we've measured on Pluto, because it can get down to minus 370 degrees during the winter on one of these poles.
Wow, and I'm complaining.
I know.
And come winter, I'll be complaining just as much.
Yeah, we will, because everything's relative, and that will feel really cold to us.
Yeah.
Because we've never been to Uranus. We don't know what minus 370 degrees feels like.
Just
disgusting.
Let me try.
I bet it feels disgusting. I think we would die. I think you die instantly.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't even make it on the... first of all, I would not make it through the travel alone.
Facts. Facts. It's also very windy, probably because it's rotating so quickly. So there's all of that energy and kind of something like the Coriolis effect happening on Uranus, but more intense than it happens here on Earth. So the wind speeds there can reach 560 miles per hour, which is easily more than 2 times Earth's max speed for winds.
Yeah.
Because there's no land to slow it down. The atmosphere is thinner, so it just moves quickly. The planet itself rotates more quickly, so there's more energy in that system. Like, it's just an energetic place. And even more interesting, the winds at the equator flow opposite the direction of rotation, so what astronomers call retrograde motion. But by the time you get to the poles, the wind direction has completely switched, and it's going with the rotation of the planet.
Oh.
I don't know why.
Yeah. All right.
But strange. Yeah. So
little mood swing.
Weird things are happening in the Uranusian atmosphere. I don't think that's a real word, but I want to make it a word.
Uranusian.
Uranusian.
It does sound like word from like an old comedy or something.
Yes, like a Lilliputian. It sounds like it comes from the similar era, like Gulliver's travels come across the Uranusians. Of course, the next thing I had to talk about was going to be the magnetic field. It's pretty weak. It is only a little bit stronger than Saturn's, and it was discovered by the Voyager 2 spacecraft in 1986. Before that, we thought Uranus didn't have a magnetic field. But Voyager studied it and found not only that a magnetic field exists, but that it's weird. It is very offset from the planet's poles. And again, the planet is on its side, so like offsets aren't totally surprising, but it's offset by 60 degrees from the planet's rotation axis. So imagine if our geographical North Pole was 60 degrees away from our magnetic North Pole. If like the North Pole was up at the south at 90 degrees north, and then our magnetic North Pole was
somewhere else.
In Cuba?
That would be very weird based on what my baseline is for Earth.
Yeah. It would be strange. Even stranger than that offset is that the axis isn't in the center of the planet. Like the axis of the magnetic field doesn't go through the center of the planet. It's like a third of the way from the center to the edge of the planet. So it's really lopsided.
Yeah.
Everything about Uranus is lopsided and off-center and weird.
A lot of what I'm learning about Uranus is just that she's laying down.
She's laying down. She's off balance.
Yeah.
She needs a break.
I'm a dizzy girl. I get it.
Uranus is everyone. It does have a magnetic field, so it has aurora, but they are offset, so they're like they're not at the poles. The planet has 28 known moons, and we'll get to this in our game at the end of the episode, but the Uranusian moons are distinct from others in the solar system in that they aren't named for mythical creatures. They are named for literary characters. All of Uranus's moons are named after characters from Shakespeare and Alexander Pope writings. I don't know why Alexander Pope. They really easily could have just left it to Shakespeare, but there are like two or three of the moons who are named after Alexander Pope
Let's
characters.
make it complicated. Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Why not? So 28 moons, and then 2 sets of rings, but all together there are 13 different rings that have been identified around Uranus. The inner set has like 9 very thin rings, and then there's an outer set with a couple of thicker rings on the outside. We still have a lot more to learn. We don't know anything about, how does the temperature and pressure and everything change as you go down in elevation, as you like work your way towards the core.
Yeah.
What are the abundances, like the elemental abundances at different elevations? Like there's still a lot more that we need to learn.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you let me down on one of those weights,
great.
I'll tell you.
Awesome. Part of the reason we don't know much about the interior or like the structure of Uranus is because we've only sent one mission there.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. In 50, 60 plus years, NASA has only sent one mission to Uranus. It was the Voyager 2 spacecraft, which passed in 1986 during a 6-hour flyby. So everything we know about Uranus
6 hours?
is from 6 hours of the Voyager 2 spacecraft. Yeah. I mean, we've also been able to study it using the Hubble Space Telescope and a lot of ground-based telescopes, but the only thing we sent there was this one 6-hour, like, picture-taking mission, pretty much.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
We could use another, at least something longer than a school day.
I know, right? We are trying to send another mission there. The 2020 Decadal Survey. Have we talked about the Decadal Survey before?
I don't think I've heard that.
Okay, it's a pretty self-explanatory title. Every decade, the astronomy community runs a survey to figure out what the priorities of the community are for the next decade. And in the 2020 Decadal Survey, it was agreed that developing a flagship mission to Uranus is a priority amongst astronomers in the next 10 years. So hopefully there will be a new Uranus mission soon. People have proposed some things. One of them is the Uranus orbiter and probe. And I feel like we can't call the Uranus mission a probe. I'm just calling it now.
That's just going to be too much for the internet to handle.
I agree. We got to call it like the Uranus copter, a helicopter to fly through the atmosphere. Like, we cannot call it a probe.
But
I'm drawing the line
maybe it
there.
will get so many people talking about the mission or talking about space that they're like, you know what? We should do more fun stuff.
I could see it.
I don't want to see the worst kind of jokes. I only want to see the good stuff.
Right. And this seems like low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. But the Uranus orbiter and probe would be a spacecraft to study Uranus's interior, its atmosphere, its magnetosphere, all of the satellites and rings. And if it's funded, would launch in the early 2030s, but it's going to have to compete with a mission to Enceladus, which is one of the moons around Saturn, and people think that it might be a good place to look for life in the solar system because it has this liquid water ocean under an icy exterior sheet. Ooh. So, the Uranus probe has some competition.
Yeah, sure does.
Oh, I forgot to say what Voyager 2 discovered during those 6 hours.
Yes, what did it learn? Because I've just decided it's not enough time to learn, but that's not true.
Yeah. We learned some things. We discovered 10 new moons around Uranus. Before that, we knew about 5.
That's
so
plenty.
Tripled.
Yeah.
The most recent one before Voyager 2 had been discovered in 1948. So there was a pretty big gap.
Yeah.
It discovered 2 new rings, so probably some of the inner rings that we couldn't see with our ground-based telescopes. And it discovered that the planet has a magnetic field. So it told us some things. It told us enough to pique our interest and make us want to go back.
Sure.
But even New Horizons, the spacecraft that we sent to Pluto, didn't take any images of Uranus on its way to Pluto.
You gotta. Even I do that on a train. Even if I'm passing through Connecticut, I'm going to whip out my phone at least once.
At least once.
Take a picture.
Some people have said that New Horizons might, now that it's done a lot of its Pluto mission, might look back and take images of Neptune and Uranus from the far side. So that could be cool. But really, nothing on the way there? I was shocked to learn that.
Yeah.
And really no other space agencies around the world have launched anything to go to Uranus. So it's an understudied field.
Yeah, disrespected even.
True. So true. Do you have any other questions about Uranus? Do you feel like you've learned enough to rank it?
I think that it's staying where it is in my ranking. Probably it's mid for me, but only until we learn more about it. I think I expected there to be more learnings that I just had never paid attention to, but instead I have to be disappointed and wonder why we're not caring about it.
Yeah. I feel like Uranus gets the shitty end of the stick too often. Because people think, we talked about how soothing the smooth color is, but a lot of people think that makes it boring.
Sure.
People think of only Saturn as being the ringed planet, but Uranus has 13 rings around it.
Yeah.
So it's getting not considered there. I think in so many ways, Uranus is overlooked for other flashier planets.
I was just going to say there's showier planets that are just louder, and Squeaky Planet gets the wheel. Nope.
That's it. The Squeaky Planet gets the wheel. On that note, let's play a game.
I'm nervous about this game.
Really?
Well,
why?
We'll see. Because I don't know if I know the answers.
It's very similar to the other moon games that we've played in the past, where I'm going to give you some information. I'm going to try to get you to guess which moon I'm describing. But there is a little twist, a slight literary twist, because the moons of Uranus are sometimes called the literary moons, since they're all named after Shakespeare and Alexander Pope characters. Interestingly, we do not know why that's the naming convention.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of been lost to history. The first two moons were discovered by William Herschel, who discovered the planet, but he just called them Moon 1 and Moon 2. His son, John Herschel, is credited for naming those two moons, which are now named Titania and Oberon. There doesn't seem to be any evidence that William Herschel knew about Shakespeare's plays or cared enough about them.
Interesting.
John Herschel may have, and the only evidence we have for this is mention of a missing letter from one of John's colleagues' daughters, who claimed that when her father discovered another moon around Uranus, he consulted with John and was like, hey, what should we name this?
Yeah.
And in keeping with John's convention, they named it after another Shakespeare character. So this has been kind of lost to time. But still, we have a fun game to play. For the game, I'm going to read you a line, an excerpt from the Shakespearean text.
Whoa. One of the hardest areas for me. No, I did have a good Shakespeare teacher.
Okay,
so
good.
I am familiar-ish with some of these names.
Okay, great. I'm sure you know more about Shakespeare than I do, which would crush my mother's heart to hear. My mother's an English and literature professor.
And on her birthday.
And on her birthday, no less. So she would hate to hear that, but I have high hopes for you.
Yay.
You can name me the character, and then for a bonus point, you can also name me the play.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I will say that all but one of these is a play that I have definitely heard of.
Okay.
And the other one is a play that I probably heard of and should remember more. And then at the end, after we go through the 5 that I've prepared, there's one moon, the most recently discovered moon of Uranus, that doesn't have a name yet. So I think we should try and come up with a name for it.
Oh, okay, I'm in. Does it have to be Shakespeare?
No. And I think it shouldn't be.
Perfect.
So your potential options, your answer key. We have Ariel.
Yep.
Desdemona.
Mm-hmm.
Ophelia.
Mm-hmm.
Perdita. And Titania. Have you heard of all of these characters?
I know Ophelia from Hamlet.
Great.
I know Titania from Midsummer's Night Dream.
Yeah.
Because we did that play one year in my school. And then Desdemona from Othello.
Okay. Oh, you're going to get so many points.
But I
Not that the
don't
points matter.
know. I don't think I know Ariel or Perdita.
Well, let's get into it. I have the line, and then if you don't get it, I also have some information about the moon.
Love.
So this first one, I'm going to try to read it like a normal person. Sir, the year growing ancient, not yet on summer's death, nor on the birth of trembling winter, the fairest flowers of the season are our carnations and streaked gillivores, which some call nature's bastards of that kind. Our rustic gardens barren, and I care not to get slips of them.
This is entirely new information for me, so I feel like it's gotta be Ariel or Perdita.
Okay. Would you like me to say something about the moon, or do you want to take a 50-50 guess?
I think tell me about the moon.
The moon was imaged by Voyager 2, but not officially confirmed as a moon until 2003, when it was imaged again by the Hubble Space Telescope. It's the 11th moon from Uranus, and it orbits about 76,000 kilometers from the planet. It's about 30 kilometers in diameter, so quite small, and it has a low albedo. It's not a very reflective surface. I think that it fits this character. I think it's an appropriate name because the character was similarly misidentified as a person of no interest before it was discovered that they were actually very interesting indeed.
Classic twist.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm just going to have to go 50-50. And I'm going to just say Ariel.
Nah.
Aw, no.
No. That's okay. 50-50 shot. You'll get the next one.
I'll get the next.
This is Perdita from Winter's Tale, which is the one that I hadn't, I didn't remember Winter's Tale being a Shakespeare play. But there's that line of the traveling winter. Yes, exactly. I was trying to give a little clue. Perdita is a lost princess who falls in love with the Prince of Bohemia, but in kind of like an Oedipus Rex situation, she was cast off as a baby because her father thought her mother cheated, and then she was like raised not knowing she was the princess.
Whoa. Kind of probably good. Makes you a better person even.
Probably.
Well, thank you, Perdita.
You'll get it. You'll get it next time. Thanks, Perdita. Okay, ready for number 2?
Yes.
Okay, this one says, "But good brother, do not as some ungracious pastors do, show me the steep and thorny way to heaven, whiles like a puffed and reckless libertine, himself the primrose path of dalliance treads, and recks not his own reed."
This, I'm pretty sure this is Hamlet.
I love you, Corinne.
So,
wow.
Only because, I'm not remembering this because of the play, but just because of the teachers and class I was in for these things of like what we were doing when we were reading Hamlet or when we were performing whatever.
Yeah.
So I couldn't tell you the context for this, but because I think it's going to be Ophelia.
Yes, 100%.
Yay!
I gotta tell you, so I found these lines by quite literally Googling Ophelia Shakespeare lines.
That, iconic phrases from...
I didn't even look for the famous lines. I just looked for all the lines, and then I went to the site that had them all collected, and I just picked a random one.
And it's such like a dense, not that it's super dense, but there's so many words in that. It could be anything.
I was trying to pick one that might hint at it. So, so it's clearly someone who has a brother, someone who is thinking about, another man and his qualities. So,
sure.
But you got it. Great job. It is Ophelia.
Good enough.
From Hamlet, the fiance of Hamlet, who's driven to madness and ultimately dies. Sorry, she drowns?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think she drowns.
As women do.
Whether you're a witch or not. The moon itself was one of the ones discovered by Voyager 2. It's the second closest moon to Uranus. It's 54,000 kilometers away from the planet, and again, one of the smallest moons. And it is thought to maintain the shape of one of the inner rings called the Epsilon ring, along with another moon, Cordelia. So the two of these moons are kind of like shepherding all the material of the Epsilon ring. And without these moons, scientists think that material would get flung out or combine with other rings.
Fun.
Great job. Number 3 says, and there are 2 lines here, just to give you some extra context. First line, "Is there more toil? Since thou dost give me pains, let me remember thee what thou hast promised, my liberty. I prithee remember I have done thee worthy service." And then later, this character also says, "I told you, sir, they were red hot with drinking. So fun of valor that they smote the air." Which I just liked, so I put it down.
Fun.
They were red hot with drinking. I want to
like
use
the
that.
emotion. Yeah,
Me
I like the
too.
emotion here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the only ones I know, or I'm more familiar with Midsummer's Night Dream, and I don't think that's this. So I feel like I'm going to go with my other 50-50. Like, I'm going to say Ariel again.
Yeah!
Yay, how lucky!
Yay! This is Ariel from The Tempest, a magical sprite who's controlled by the magician Prospero. And this is also a character in an Alexander Pope poem. So pulling double duty.
I don't even know it.
I never read The Tempest. And so I was first introduced to Ariel through the show The Librarians, where Ariel, like all of these literary characters come to life and are the big bads of the season, and Ariel and Prospero are like trying to end the world.
Yeah, you know, I'm surprised I'm not more familiar with The Tempest. I think it was just like not what we did in that course for whatever reason.
Yeah, I'm shocked I don't know more about it because it is one of the few Shakespeare plays that explicitly has magic in it.
Yeah, totally.
It's like that, Midsummer, maybe Macbeth with the witches. But yeah, it's from The Tempest. The moon itself was discovered on October 24th, 1851 by William Lassell. And so this was the third moon discovered that William Lassell went to John Herschel and was like, hey, I see you've named them after Shakespeare characters. Shall we continue with that?
Yeah.
It is one of the largest moons around Uranus with a diameter of about 600 kilometers, a little bit less, and it is the brightest of all the moons. It seems to have the youngest surface, with some big crater marks, but altogether like relatively smooth, which seems to indicate some recent geological activity. And it is tidally locked with Uranus, just like our moon is tidally locked to us. So one side of Ariel is always facing the planet.
Cool.
Okay, number 4. Number 4. I think you'll get this one. It says, I pray thee, gentle mortal, sing again. Mine ear is much enamored of thy note. And then later, this character says, my Oberon, what visions have I seen? Methought I was enamored of an ass.
This is Midsummer's Night Dream.
Yes, it is.
That's so fun. Methought I was enamored of an ass.
Methought. So do you know the character?
Titania.
Yeah, she's the queen of the fairies in Midsummer Night's Dream, Oberon being the king of the fairies, and she is tricked by Puck into falling in love with a character who's been transformed into a donkey. So,
Puck.
So yes, she did. She was enamored of an ass. Aren't we all? Aren't we all?
We all have to do it once.
We all get, magicked by a fairy at least once in our lives. One of my favorite, going out things to do when I was in college at Harvard was to go to the Donkey Show at the Oberon Theater, which was like a 1970s disco reimagining of A Midsummer Night's Dream interspersed with an actual dance party, and all of the characters are go-go dancers, weaving in between the crowd and dancing on these little boxes. It's great. That is my favorite version of A Midsummer Night's Dream that I've ever read or seen. The moon itself was one of the ones discovered by William Herschel. It was discovered on January 11th, 1787. It is the largest of all of Uranus's moons, with a diameter of about 1,000 miles. And there are topographical features on the moon that indicate some tectonic activity, which is pretty cool.
Cool. Just like us.
Just like us. Everything about Uranus is so relatable, I'm learning. Okay, number 5. I'm not merry, but I do beguile the thing I am by seeming otherwise. Which I just appreciated, because I feel like I also have similar energy. And then later, oh, these men, dost thou in conscience think, tell me, Emilia, that there be women do abuse their husbands in such gross kind?
That's so... Okay,
I can't not laugh at any of this.
This one's gotta be Desdemona, because it's my last choice. But also, I think Amelia is in that.
Yeah, there's that whole conversation with who I think maybe one of her ladies' maids or something. I'm not sure. I haven't read it. But yeah, she's Desdemona is talking to Amelia about marriage and like what do women do?
What do they do?
So Desdemona is from Othello. She falls in love with the titular character against her father's wishes. They elope, and she goes off with him to fight in a war, and then he ultimately kills her because he's been convinced by this like whispering man, Iago, who's just whispering bad things in his ear. Convincing Othello that Desdemona was unfaithful, which was false.
Yep.
The moon was another one discovered by Voyager 2. It is very, very small, and it is the 5th moon from Uranus. Not much else to report on it.
Wow.
Yay.
Love it.
You did great.
Thanks.
You did great. The points don't matter. I wasn't keeping track, but you got everything. Yeah. Yeah, great. So now we have this other one, the 28th Uranusian moon to be discovered. Right now, it's called S/2023 U1. I don't think that's. Yeah, that's not. We're not gonna remember that.
Yeah,
it's tiny. It's 8 kilometers across, so potentially Uranus's smallest moon, and it's really far away from the planet. It takes 680 days to orbit Uranus. It was discovered in 2023. What literary figure do we want to name this moon after, Corinne?
Whoa. Okay, I'm thinking that something about the size of it.
I was also drawn to that.
But I'm trying to think of tiny characters.
I thought Stuart Little.
Stuart Little. That's so much better because I'm only picturing minions.
Kevin. Its name is Kevin.
That, I think, would draw attention to it. That might be good branding for Uranus.
If we called it Kevin?
But we can't endorse that franchise. Not that it's bad. I just want no part.
Fair.
I think Stuart Little is so funny. I loved Stuart Little growing up. Desperate to be small at any chance.
Yeah, or like Tinkerbell?
Tinkerbell! She would love the pretty color of the planet.
She would. And she'd get along with Titania and Oberon.
Oh, yeah. And she would just like the drama.
She would. She could share her fairy dust with the ring system. You know, make sure all the rings are flying as they want to.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Tinkerbell works.
Yeah.
When you know, you know.
Well, you heard it here. There is going to be a call to name it according to the convention in the next year or so. So maybe it's not going to work. We can't get it because it's not Shakespeare or Alexander, and they've decided on that convention. But for us, for all the Pale Blue Pod listeners, I think we all know. Yeah, that's Tinkerbell.
We'll always know.
But no matter who your favorite literary characters are, you're still space.
You are. Oh, bye.
Pale Blue Pod was created by Moiya McTier and Corinne Caputo with help from the Multitude Productions team. Our theme music is by Evan Johnston, and our cover art is by Shay McMullen. Our audio editing is handled by the incomparable Misha Stanton.
Stay in touch with us and the universe by following @PaleBluePod on Twitter and Instagram, or check out our website, palebluepod.com. We're a member of Multitude, an independent podcast collective and production studio. If you like Pale Blue Pod, you will love the other shows that live on our website at multitude.productions.
If you want to support Pale Blue Pod financially, join our community over at patreon.com/palebluepod. For just about $1 per episode, you get a shout out on one of our shows and access to director's commentary for each episode. The very best way, though, to help Pale Blue Pod grow is to share it with your friends. So send this episode, this link, to one person who you think will like it, and we will appreciate you for forever.
Thanks for listening to Pale Blue Pod. You'll hear us again next week.
Bye.